guys, we're back. I have to do this while we're driving. I'm trying to get one of those people that does it when you're driving down the road now. But I did, and Chelsea, I don't know if you're watching this. Oh, no, Chelsea's probably at work, but... And JC, I don't know if you're watching. Ryan, I'm going down the road. I hope you can come visit Florida one day. I'm doing a ton of Scarlett videos. I'm sure you see that. But what I want you guys to understand, there's only 2 ways to introduce the e-collar. There's only 2 ways. And if you said, nobody ever told me that. Well, I'm telling you now, there's only 2 ways to do it. If we're saying we're going to use it to initiate behaviors. You can either do it when the dog is in motion, or you can do it when the dog is stationary. That's it. There's not 9 different ways. You're either going to use the collar initially to initiate motion, understanding we're going to balance that out later by using it to initiate a stationary behavior, or we're going to use it to initiate a stationary behavior, understanding that once we've got that hurdle accomplished, we're going to use it to initiate motion. And if you said, what should people do? They should use it to initiate motion. And if you said, why? Because people don't know how to train a remote sit. I don't even know how to train one. I could be taught how to do one. I could probably learn. But people like Mark, if you said, well, how long does it take them? Probably like 1 day, you know. So they're slapping that remote sit on the dog. And then I think Mark introduced it to motion too. You know, if you're just saying I'm using it randomly for a correction, you're using it wrong, and it's never going to work. I mean, the training's just going to go flat. Ideally, you're starting the collar before you ever say anything as a way to initiate something. If somebody says, I'm going to text you, run out to the gate, when they text me, I run out to the gate. I don't know to do that before they texted me. You know, so even when people were using stimulus, they were still doing it to either initiate, and that was the 2 schools of thought. Mike Lardy did it to initiate a remote sit. But you have to say to yourself, do I really know how to train a remote sit? And if the answer is no, then don't do it like that. You know, you got to do it for the recall. You know, so if you said, do I know how to train a recall? Based on what I'm seeing on YouTube, no, these people don't know how to do it. So the other thing I want to talk about, Chelsea sent me a bunch of videos, and then this is what people do, and Chelsea, I'm the same way. She sends me the videos, but then starts thinking about it and thinking that she sent me these videos to look at, and so she goes back and watches them again. She's then horrified in seeing every mistake in the video. So I'm going to tell you what was wrong with the video, and it's what's wrong with JC's videos, and it's what's wrong with a lot of these people's videos. You guys are not, if I said you're shooting a movie where you're a dog trainer, this is not what these films look like. Jason, you've got to find someplace better than this very, very small garage. And Chelsea, you've got to find someplace better than, it looked like you were in an alley and then you had like a real tall building looming up next to you. You know, you've got to, however they do it. Oh, okay, this is how you guys have to do it. You got to take your fingers. Hi, Jill. Yours too, Jill. Your video, you've got big mess in the background. They're all like, okay, lady, you're blocked. We're never watching you. You got to take your fingers like this, and you've got to say, not just what am I seeing for the video, but what scene am I presenting for the dog? When am I ever going to need this level of obedience in that small of a room? Never. You know, when am I ever going to be in an alley with a tall building looming next to me running through an obedience routine? Never. So you guys have got to choose better scenes. You've got to take your hand, because this is what the dog is seeing. And if this dog is thinking to itself, why the hell are we doing this right here, right now? It's just deteriorating the relationship. And what you're doing, Chelsea's like, oh my God, you guys have got to hear this stuff. Though. What you're doing is trying to, I want you to think it like a gymnastics routine, where you learn all the little jumps and all the little steps, and then at some point you put it together all into one long exercise. What you're doing is just doing the whole dance routine every single time. You've got to break it down into drills. So you're just doing, can I get, what do you guys want? I'll get you guys whatever you want. Can I get, what kind of Frappuccino do they have? You see the menu, lady. Okay, give me the mocha caramel. And then do you guys have the peanut wrap or the peanut chicken wrap? Just the tall. All right. I mean the small, yeah, the tall. Yeah. No, that's all. Anyway, guys, that's what you've got to do. You've got to set a better training scene. You know, if you've got to get in your car and drive, you've got to... I'll tell you what makes a good little training scene. Someplace where there's a little sidewalk or something. And there's some greenery, or there's some a little bit of open space. You don't want to just always be in a field. You know, and I'm out today. I've got my climb. You know, I'm bringing my props along with me. That's going to help my training scene. It's going to help me be more successful. Oh, hi, Courtney. Am I wrong, Courtney? People choose... Like my friend JC, and he's going to come and be my intern. I'm sorry, the internship, you're still getting the internship. I will sponsor your internship, Courtney. You know, but he's doing it in a very small room. You've got to have the very first thing you should be doing is looking around and seeing where we're at before you ever look back and see what this dog is doing. You know, what kind of scene am I presenting, and does this have any practical application whatsoever? I'll tell you what has practical application in a big field, recalls and stuff. Not making them sit, not making them stay, get it in motion. Anyway, guys, I got to get my stuff here at Starbucks, but I'm going to go and I'm going to set up a little training scene, and I'm going to just run through some drills. I'm not going to try to string everything together into a performance. You know, just get animated drills and then be able to say to the dog, okay, now we're adding this, adding this, adding this, and pretty soon you do have a routine. But until you have the drills, it doesn't work. Amber, I'm glad you're here, because if you want me to tell you what I saw wrong with the little bulldogs, the only thing I see is you don't want to factor their feet in like this. And I'm going to tell you how I know that. Crash. Oh my God, I didn't tell you guys what Crash did. She went in the whelping box and got one of the puppies out. Oh, thank God I heard it screaming. If I had to guess, she was bringing it to me. Oh, you're messaging me tonight. You need my help. Okay. Anyway, I'll be there, Courtney. You always say that, but then she never messages. But then I'm still there. But you don't want to do anything with the dog that involves their foot coming out like that. You don't, because that's all Crash does is claw at me. It's absolutely awful. So don't reinforce the feet at all. Keep all 4 feet on the ground. Because if you said, what's the next step from jumping or from clawing at you? The next step I think is we'll take the clawing to the next level, and then they're jumping up doing it. So, all right, guys, I'll be back in a little bit. I got a few dogs in here, and we're just going to work on some electronic check cording, and I want all you guys to be able to do that. It's depressing to me that we put a man on the moon in 1963, and we've still got trainers out there with prong collars and long lines. What's wrong with you people? What is wrong with you people? I mean, if you're a serious pro trainer, I expect an astronaut to be able to get farther than, you know, I don't expect an astronaut to use a ladder to get to the moon. You know, you guys have got to, if you need the tech specs of how to install this thing, I've got them, and I'll tell you what they are. But unless you've done that, nothing else you're doing is doing any good. I can just tell you right now, none of this that you're doing, if you're not putting this electronic check cord on the dog, is doing any good. Because they're thinking to themselves, this isn't doing any good, I'm going to wait for them. Anyway, you guys, I will be, hi Christopher, hi Eileen. I don't always see who all is there, you guys, so that's why I don't always say something. But Jeanette, if you're there, I'm at Starbucks using your gift card, and I will be right back with some real dog training. Bye, guys.